day of Rocky Railways, Vacation Bible School, where we are trusting Jesus to pull us through life's ups and downs. I cannot believe this is our last day together. It has been so much fun riding the rails with you. I hope you had as much fun as I did this week. This week, we were discovering how Jesus' power pulls us through. Let's sing our theme song, Your Power Will Pull Us Through.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. We stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. Trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. Trusting in you. Trusting in you. We're trusting in you. Trusting in you.
I cannot wait to hear you sing and see your faces and to see you dance tonight to the music or wiggle around in your cars. I cannot wait for you to come to Rocky Wrap-Up tonight here at the church, St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Fleetwood at 7 p.m. I just cannot wait to see all your smiling faces and wave to you. I hope that you'll sing nice and loudly as we sing those songs. We've learned a lot this week. We've learned from Ramsey that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Say that with me. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. We also learned from Ava, Jesus' power gives us hope. Say that with me. Jesus' power gives us hope. And then yesterday, we learned from Sierra that Jesus' power helps us be bold. Say that with me. Jesus' power helps us be bold. We have one more Bible buddy to meet tonight, and that Bible buddy is Lawrence the Elk. He will help us remember that Jesus' power helps us be good friends. Say that. Jesus' power helps us be good friends. I hope that all of you are good friends. But it's always a good reminder to know that Jesus can help us be a good friend too. Let's take some time to meet Lawrence, and then you'll hear our last Bible study and do your last imagination station before joining me for a closing. I hope you have fun today.
I heard everyone was steaming ahead with the last day of Rocky Railway. Glad you're here. I'm Lawrence Elk, not a moose, not a ram, but an excellent elk. Male elks are called bulls, and me and my bull buddies like to hang out way up in the Rocky Mountains. In the winter, we move down where we can find grass. But in the spring and summer, we head for the hills. It's important that we stick together with the herd. Some elk herds are as big as 400 friends. Although my antlers are big and strong, female elk or babies don't have these. And a hungry bear is hard to fight off. Speaking of these amazing antlers, they are pretty incredible if I do say so myself. Sometimes they come in handy when other herds get too close to mine, or I need to show another bull that I'm in charge. Yeah, sometimes we butt heads, even in our happy herd. But I try not to get too attached. Literally, they fall off every year and I grow a new set. How cool is that? God also gave me a unique power to help me communicate with the herd. That's called bugling. It's a little like roaring and whistling at the same time. It keeps my herd close together where we can be safe. Our herd even has scouts, a few elk who stand watch while others graze. We have to look out for each other. Do you have friends who look out for you? Friends you like to call out to when you're sad or silly, happy or hurting? Or do you sometimes butt heads with your buddies? Maybe you need the power to forgive and love a friend when you're not getting along. You don't have to do that all by yourself. Jesus gives you his power to help be a good friend. Jesus gave this powerful command in the Bible. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. If you're butting heads with your buddies and not getting along, you can trust Jesus' power and follow his words. Jesus' power helps us be good friends. Trust Jesus.
Hello friends, welcome to Bible Adventures. Today we're learning that Jesus' power helps us to be good friends. After Jesus died and came back to life, he went back to heaven. His followers and friends told many people as they could about Jesus. You heard a little about that with Peter and John's adventure. And then those people told people, and those people told people. Well, you get the picture. Pretty soon lots of people believed in Jesus. Here's what it says in the Bible about those believers. Some of the early believers were great at sharing. They shared their food, their clothes. They shared their money and their homes. They were so generous. No one was poor or needy because others gave without holding anything back. Together they saw many miracles and wonders. They met in the temple and they met in their homes. Then they talked about Jesus and they thanked God for blessing them. Then something amazing happened. When other people saw how happy these first believers were, sharing all they had and talking about Jesus, they believed too. They became Christians and they shared their food and their clothes and their money and their homes. They became one big Christian family, and their church family grew and grew and grew. So they're eating together, praising Jesus together, hanging out together, and sharing with each other. Jesus' power made those believers good friends, and they wanted everyone else to join them and become friends of Jesus too. Let's celebrate what we've learned about Jesus and his power this week so we can tell other people about it. Let's celebrate by having a friendship party. And these gifts here will help us remember what we've learned this week. We talked about this on day 1. Does this give anybody a hint about what we talked about? That's right. On day 1, we heard the story how Ananias helped Saul. And we learned that Jesus' power helps us to do hard things. Here's our hint for day 2. Do you remember this sea biscuit? That's right. We heard the story when Paul encourages others in a storm and a shipwreck. We learned that Jesus' power gives us hope. Here's our hint for day 3. A large coin. Do you remember the story? Of course you do. Peter and John teach about Jesus that day. And we learn that Jesus' power helps us to be bold. I had fun at our friendship party, and I hope you did too. It's important that we stay connected with other friends of Jesus. If this is your church, I hope you'll stay connected with friends here. If you go to another church, that's a good place to find friends of Jesus. And if you don't go to a church, you're welcome to join us here. However you do it, stay close to other friends of Jesus. One way to do that is by coming to our parking lot wrap-up tonight at 7. Have fun!
Welcome to Imagination Station. I really can't believe it's our last day together. I've had so much fun making discoveries with you this week. Today, we're discovering that Jesus' power helps us be good friends. Trust Jesus. But before we dig into that, I get to ask you one last time. Did you bring your imagination today? Since it's our last day at Rocky Railway, we need tons of imagination. I was talking to my friend Lawrence Elk, and he told me something amazing. Did you know that an elk can weigh as much as 730 pounds? I said, Lawrence, how do you power up to carry all that weight up a mountain? And he told me he eats 20 pounds of vegetation every single day. Do you have any vegetation where you're at? In a moment, I'm going to have you run to the nearest vegetation and touch it and then run back. It could be a houseplant or a flower or even a bag of carrots. Hurry and come right back. Now that we have our imagination sprouting, let's find out today's question. How many toes do elk have on each leg? Do they have 2 toes or 4 toes? Think about your answer. Ready? Okay, time for the drum roll so I can reveal the amazing answer. And the answer is elk have 4 toes on each leg. Imagine that! It's our last day at Imagination Station, and today we're going to make power bands. Yay! Steam trains get their power from either wood or coal. So you can use wood beads or coal beads on your power band, or you can use both. But we get our power from Jesus. Every day at Rocky Railway, we discovered something new about Jesus' amazing power. So you'll add 1 cross to your power band to help you remember Jesus' power in your life. I'll walk you through the simple steps. As you work, remember that Jesus' power helps us be good friends. Trust Jesus. Before you start, you'll need to find some tape and some kid-friendly scissors. And you may need a family member to lend a hand. In your kit, you'll have 10 beads. Some will be coal beads, some will be wood beads, and you'll have 1 cross bead and an elastic band. The first step to making your power band is to tie a knot on one end of the string. Just like that. You're going to put the band down and grab your tape. Tape the band down either to a table or the floor. This is going to make it easier for you to string the beads. Next, thread your choice of beads onto the string, making sure to include at least 1 cross bead. You can do any pattern that you want. Now, remove the tape and work with a partner to tie the strings around your wrist and knot it so it fits just right. I had a grown-up help me cut the ends off my band, so now it looks nice and neat. Every time you wear your power band, you can remember that Jesus has amazing power, and he uses that power to help us. And since we know that Jesus' power helps us be good friends, trust Jesus. You can be a good friend by giving a power band to a friend. That way, your friend can remember Jesus' power too. Every time you wear your power band, you can remember that Jesus has amazing power, and he uses that power to help us. And since we know that Jesus' power helps us be good friends, trust Jesus. You can be a good friend by praying for someone every time you look at your bracelet. Well, believe it or not, we've come to the end of our time at Imagination Station. If you need a place to keep your power band, you can put it inside of a baggie. And if you have the Try This at Home sticker, it will help you remember today's point. Jesus' power helps us be good friends. Trust Jesus. Thank you so much for joining us at Imagination Station here at Rocky Railway VBS, where we've learned that Jesus' power pulls us through. Trust Jesus.
I hope that you had fun watching your last day of Vacation Bible School. I can't believe that we're already at the last day. It went by so quickly. I hope that you all had lots of fun. And I appreciate and thank you and your families for watching Vacation Bible School with us online each night. I also thank you for coming to the Zoom on Monday night so I could see who was going to be watching. And I hope that most of you or all of you will come to the church Thursday night at 7 o'clock so that we can sing together and wave to each other and see each other in person, but also with keeping a safe distance. It is very important for us to be safe when we are here at the church tonight. Your families have gotten emails regarding the details about tonight, and I hope that you all can be there. If not, that's okay. Please send me an email, have your parents take a picture of you, and write me a little note and say, I loved Bible school and I learned so much. That would be fine too. Today we learned that Jesus' power helps us be a good friend. What is one thing that makes someone a good friend? Can you think about that and tell someone that's sitting next to you? Or you can even tell the computer, and I'll pretend that I can hear you. And maybe you know what else? You could even write me a note and tell me what a good friend is. That would be all right too. Go ahead and tell someone you're watching with what it's like to be a good friend, or to have a good friend, or be with someone that is a good friend. Any of those would work. Go ahead and tell someone now. I hope you all had a chance to share what being a good friend looks like. And I know you talk a lot about that at school, about being good friends. But do you know what? Jesus is the best friend we could ever have, because he gives us the powers to help us be the person we are, and he helps us. He is also always there for us. And at any time of day, at any point, no matter where you are, Jesus will listen if you just talk to him. Today, we met Lawrence the elk, and Lawrence says, Jesus' power helps us be a good friend. Can you say that with me? Jesus' power helps us be a good friend. In your packet, your last day, you should see a picture, a coloring sheet of Lawrence the elk. And again, it will help you remember that Jesus' power helps us be a good friend. So I hope that you color this later or some other time, and it will remind you about what we learned today. We also met some other Bible buddies. I'm going to lay this one down. Well, yesterday we met Sierra, and it says, Jesus' power helps us be bold. Can you say that? Jesus' power helps us be bold. Then on day 2, we met Ava. And Ava says, Jesus' power gives us hope. You say that with me. Jesus' power gives us hope. And on day 1, we learned from Ramsey, the bighorn sheep, that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. I hope that you've learned and remember all the things that Jesus does for us, because Jesus' powers pull us through. It has been so much fun learning and moving along rocky railways with you this week. I hope you had fun exploring Jesus' power and love, and I am thankful that you joined us. I hope that you join us tonight at 7 p.m. in the church parking lot for our final Rocky Railway wrap-up in person. Let's sing our song together, This Train is Bound for Glory. Have a great summer, everyone.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. 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 Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train.
Okay, now let's bring it down.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. Oh, this train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train.